Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and today we're going to make a fun little Happy Mail project from my Flow magazine. Of course, here in Australia, it's the first one we've seen in a long time. I do appreciate that if you live overseas, you've had more and they didn't stop. But for us here in Australia, once COVID hit, we did not see another edition. So very excited to have this. So we're going to make a fun little project that you can send to anybody that loves stationery or journaling or anything, if they like papery things. I've decided to use nothing but goodies from this Paper Lovers book so that if you want to make the same thing, there is nothing that you won't have. So let's get crafting. I have done a little bit of prep just to make things a little quicker. You don't need to see me sit there and cut out everything. It's boring and it wastes your precious time. So the first thing I decided to do was to use one of the pages that is an envelope template. Not a problem. Cut it all out, even folded it over and went, oh dear. You can't send happy mail in an envelope like that now, can you? I'm thinking, well, that's a very interesting occurrence, but okay, we can fix this. We have our template all nicely cut out and folded, and I grabbed another piece. Now, there are the sheets of all these coloured strips which you're meant to fold up and you create a little dangly thing, but I shan't be using that. I decided the easiest way to tackle this would be to create a little piece to fill in this blank. So what I did, I grabbed my double strip here and then I just grabbed a pencil and I traced around it, and now I've created like a fill-in piece. So we just sort of need to line that up so we sort of can't see where I've cut as much as possible. And then we're going to glue this in. So am I happy with that? I think that looks fabulous. So I'm just going to grab this and my junk mail that I always use when I am gluing things, and then I put them in the recycling bin. So grab the glue stick and we are going to actually make an envelope that we can use. So we're just going to glue these parts down. I'm just sort of avoiding this top area so that it doesn't glue down and we lose entry into our envelope, because otherwise we can't fit things in. I'm going to do the same up here. And I'm just making sure I keep it correct. Not that it's life or death, but I want it to open this way. I'm just checking the direction of my pattern to make sure I glue the right bit down at the bottom. And now we have an actual envelope that you can use. But two things. This is quite thin, I suppose, compared to normal envelopes. It's not that much different, but I'm going to add a few little bits to it to give it a little bit more strength. So we're going to keep this bit here because we can write the address of the person we are sending it to. But I thought we need a little bit of something. So what I did, I've grabbed this one here and we're going to do a little bit of decoration, but what it will also do is help strengthen the envelope so that it doesn't get too crushed, and it will also on this side help strengthen this area here because we have just glued it down. So all I'm going to do is add some glue. I always use Uhu glue. I do find it the most reliable. Some of the cheaper ones, honestly, they come undone if put under any form of pressure. Now we're just going to lay this across the top here. I already had a bit of a fold practice session to make sure it would wrap all the way around, which of course it did. So that's the first one down. And then I have another little strip here. Thought we might add a little bit of colour, and instead of cutting it, I've actually just torn it. It just gives a little bit more visual interest. We're just going to put that right up the edge, not covering up this part here because we need that clear for our address. We might as well use that, seeing it's provided. Then I want I've cut a little scrap square, which we're going to place down as well. Just creating a bit of interest, and I'm going to use this cute little sticker, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue. I never trust stickers to actually stick and not peel off, and we're just going to place that on there. So now we have a little bit of interest. It's just a little bit better than a normal envelope. It's given our envelope some strength. And then now that I have flipped this over, inside are these little paper labels. Now, I don't know if the camera's going to catch this. There is a little glue patch here, which I presume if you wet, it will stick it down. But the trouble is it doesn't go right to the edge. So I'm not going to trust this. I'm definitely going to add glue to this. So that it definitely sticks. And I'm going to place it about here. So again, we can put our address on there, the sender's address, but it also just helps to provide a little bit of strength on our glue join there, just so it doesn't come undone. So there we go. Very simple, very easy. Our envelope is ready to go. Then the next thing we are going to do, we're going to create a little folder. So this is the page that started this whole experiment. I picked papers and colours that sort of went together, and I loved this flower. So I thought we're going to use this page to create a little folder, and then we're going to put some goodies in it. So I did a bit of folding practice, having a play with this, because obviously the front of my folder, I want this flower in its complete state. So the first thing you do is you simply fold your page over. Now, if you pick a page that doesn't have a particular image, then you can make this any size you like. But I wanted that to be the showpiece at the front, and as you can see, it just fits in. But what I'm going to do to play it safe, I'm going to trim just the tiniest bit off here, just to give me a little bit more wiggle room fitting it into the envelope. Otherwise, it might be a very tight fit. So we'll just trim a tiny bit off there. Then the next thing we're going to do, again, because this print was here, not that it would matter if we folded over it, I decided to make the first fold so that this was whole, but that's just being technical. And then, of course, we fold this piece over. So now we have a little folder, but when you look at it from the front, you have this beautiful flower. So before we glue this down, I'm going to trim this the tiniest little bit off here. And that's just so that when it gets, oh, hang on, the light's just in the wrong spot here for me to see where that fold is. It will fold over better, and it will also help it to lie a little flatter. whenever you're making Happy Mail, you have to consider postage. And postage in Australia, when we're sending things, you need to try and keep things under 20 millimeters thick. That way you can post it at a much cheaper rate. So any way you can make something a little bit flatter, you always grab that. So that's what I'm doing here. It just will make for a much neater folder and less bulk. So just trimming off tiny little bits. And we'll do the same here, because I don't know if you noticed, but when you folded it over, tiniest little bit of this just sort of stuck out the edge, and I don't like that. So let's just get that out of the way. And now we're going to glue these down so that we make actual little pockets. So I have my tiger glue, and I'm just putting a few dots down. I don't want too much, because these pockets are quite narrow as it is. So I find if I just put a few little dots in, it will help keep my pockets as big as possible. There we go. And of course, we're not gluing the top down because we want to be able to put some goodies in here. So I'm trying to squeeze very gently so we just get a little bit. I hope you are all well. Has your Christmas shopping started? I'm so lucky this year because I'm travelling overseas. We're not doing much in the way of Christmas present shopping, so I'm quite lucky there. Spending enough money going on this mega trip, which is fabulous. And honestly, every single message that's come through with a Black Friday sale, I've just hit delete, because I don't want to buy things I don't need. Have you found any really good Black Friday deals that I need to know about, though? I shouldn't even be going there. Okay, there we go. So we now have some pockets, and I suppose we need to put something in them. But before we do that, this is a little, I decided we just need a little bit of something down there. And so I've just cut out a few tiny little pieces to add a little bit of deco. We're just going to put some down here. So I've got this here, just a little layering piece, and then another one. And I just loved this little sticker. So we're going to add that as well. And I won't bother with glue for this one because it's inside. It's not under pressure and will not peel off, one would imagine. Okay, let's put that aside for the moment. So the first thing I'm going to make to put inside this is a little notebook. So I've grabbed the piece of vellum and I have cut it out, and it is approximately 13 by 17 centimetres. This doesn't have to be perfect in any shape or form. You can make it any size you like, and we're going to fold that in half. This is going to be the cover. Then I grabbed 3 of these sheets, again, picking things with a similar colour theme, and these are all pages that have lines written on it. So I thought, well, that's a handy way to make a little notebook, and that way you can write on the inside of each of these pages. You already have lines, and I've cut these a tiny weeny bit smaller, and I've cut them at odd shapes too, just for fun, as in odd sizes. You'll see they're all slightly different in length. And I think we might do this like this, that way. But then you can't see. I'll tell you what we'll do. We might just trim this one off a tiny bit more. I didn't think about that when I was initially cutting them. There we go. And so that way we've got the 3 colours of the 3 sheets. They're all slightly different sizes. And that way you get to see the contrast because we have a clear cover. So just pressing these down nicely. Let me just pop my lid on the glue before it goes dry. I might need that later. There we go. And then we're going to have that sitting in there. So you get the little hints of colour. You get the little, I think they're meant to be like ladybugs showing through the vellum. And then all we're going to do is staple this together. So we're going to hang on to it. Going to grab the stapler. And we are going to quickly staple this together. Oops, hang on, let's shimmy just a tiny bit. Just line that back up again and pop another one in. And now we have a very cute, very simple little notebook. And then I grabbed one more of the stickers. I quite liked this. It's in very similar colour theme of a very pretty flower. And I thought what we might do is just, actually no, I want to stick this on here. I might put it up a little bit higher, that way when you see it, you might see that through when it's in the pocket. So there we go. We've got a very simple, easy little notebook. The next thing we're going to do, when I was cutting out the pieces for this, I, of course, had a little piece left over. So we're going to make sort of a long, thin journal card style arrangement. And this is a little bit boring, just the way it is. So I thought what I would do is create a bit of interest by, this is another one, sorry, this is another one of those strips. They look like, to me, they're like washi strips. I think they're very handy for using as little deco pieces. And then we'll cut this one off too. And we're just going to stick this on here. So let's see, I need about there. I just won't add glue to that very bottom bit, just to make things less sticky tacky when I cut it off. Okay. And then we're just going to put this on here, lining this straight edge right up. Oh, I've got a bit of excess yucky glue from my glue sheet, but that's okay. And then we're going to trim this little bit off. And I found this beautiful sticker, which we are going to place on it. Again, I won't worry about gluing this. This won't be under any pressure. And we're just going to place that on there. So that quick and simple. And we now have ourselves a cute little journaling card. So we have our little notebook, which goes in our main pocket here. We have our little journaling card, which should fit. I can trim it down. I might just take off the tiniest little morsel on the side. I knew when I cut it, it might struggle to get in depending on the gluing situation. There we go. Oh, all these little tacky bits. I don't like that. Go away. Don't like little dirty bits. There we go. So we have a little journaling card. Now, of course, this is a very tiny pocket, and I wasn't sure what to do with that. And I found these cute little pop-out cardboard tab arrangements. Now, have a look at this. I said I probably don't need to add glue, but have a look at this. It's not sticking properly. So, you know what? We're going to add a tiny little bit of glue to this sticker. That's interesting. Oh, if in doubt, add glue. There we go. That's fine. So I thought these would make a cute little addition in this tiny little pocket that we have here. They're very cute. Then they also had some larger ones, and this has a cute bug on it, so I thought that would be a fun addition there. And then lucky last, I found these tiny little pictures, and I thought just for fun, we are going to put them up here as a little bit of decoration. Making another pocket there, which was what I was going to do. I went, well, that's all well and good, but really I don't know what I'm going to stick into it because it's so tiny. So how about we do this instead? Put these couple of little pictures up here just for a little bit of interest. They're so tiny, but they're so cute. And this one might just add down here. Right, there we go. So now we have a very cute little Happy Mail folder, which I would then put into a cellophane bag, probably with a piece of cardboard underneath it to keep it nice and strong. And in it pops into our envelope. Seal that down, and as you can see, it's a fun little project and it's not very thick, which means you'll be able to use the cheapest possible postage. So there we go. A simple little one. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have a friend who loves crafty things, this would be lovely to send them at this time of year. And maybe, you know, pop a few Christmas stickers or something in there as well. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below. And if you could just take a minute to hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.